Hello everyone. This is Amy with Simply Elizabeth Crafts, and I'm coming to you with some scrapbook pages today to just kind of show you some things that I have been working on in the scrapbook world. For most of you, if you haven't followed me for a while or don't know much about me, I actually love scrapbooking. It is kind of where it all started for me, and that was way back in high school. And then as an adult, I did kind of dabble in it a little bit, and then I went to a card class, fell in love with Stampin' Up, and here we are. 10 years later, we are still doing Stampin' Up, but one of the things that really kind of got me into Stampin' Up was a card class, but I would actually take their Project Life, which is what they had back then when I started, and I would create little mini albums as well as do some large 12 by 12 pages. And then I kind of, because most of my customers were card makers, I kind of strayed away from creating a lot of those for things, and then I would just maybe once or twice a year just kind of do a page or two. But now I have really gotten really back into it over the last, probably the last year and a half, because there is so much in my life that I would love to put into memories for my nieces and my nephew. I don't have any kids of my own. My husband and I don't have kids, and so this is something we want to do for them. And it just is, a lot of it is about them or trips we've taken as a family, or some of them are even one of the several of the pages are of a Norway trip that I earned with Stampin' Up a couple years ago, and my nieces were, you know, just over the moon for us. And so I figured I would scrapbook that for them too, because they loved looking at all the pictures when we got back. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of what I've done over the last couple months. And then also I wanted to show you this. So this is how I keep them until I get all the pictures printed. I am a do a page first and then with a picture in mind, and then I put the picture on there. So that's usually how it works for me. And I am behind on printing my pictures, so we won't go there. But anyway, so this was one that I'm pretty sure I did show several, I guess it was about 2 months ago. This was actually a paper pumpkin kit, and I created this for a picture of Harper when she was actually younger, when she was strawberry picking. So there's that one. This one actually was created. The picture I'm going to put on this is a picture of Ben and I at Christmas at a friend of ours' house. It was, I guess, 2 years ago now, and we're standing in front of a Christmas tree, so that's why I've got the trees here. But I actually originally created this for, with that picture in mind, but for a team challenge. So it was I think it was a Christmas, just a creative challenge. But anyway, so that was this, and that's what I created that for. This was for a family trip that we took. Both of these layouts, and I did show these. I'm gonna make sure I'm still in. I don't think I can zoom out anymore. So we'll show them one at a time. This was for a family trip we took, and I have the pictures, I just haven't put them on there yet. So we went to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Well, Maggie Valley is where we went. And so that is for one, and it'll go like this. So it's a 2-page layout for it. And then the other pictures will go on here. This one is for volleyball, which I haven't actually even fully finished these 2 pages. I started these. I've got some pictures of when the first year Morgan started volleyball, and then Harper was obviously already in volleyball, and their colors were orange and blue. So that's why it's orange and blue, and I just have to print the pictures and finish it. But I need a big volleyball, and I have not found the one that I want yet to finish that one off. And then I want a net, and I just haven't found quite what I like. And sometimes I have it in my head, and it'll take me a while to kind of get to that finished product of it if there's a specific item that I want to put on it. So this is Jillian's page right here. She is the youngest niece. And this was from a paper pack. I don't think this was a scrapbook kit, but it's her dance photo, and I just have to print that photo and put it in here. But I think this is probably one of my favorite pages of all times. Here are some of our Norway trip, and I just kind of took one of our Christmas kits because you can see the snow caps in the background, and so I kind of wanted the snowflakes, and then of course there's a lot of trees, and so it's got the trees on it. Here I did want to point out there is a little bit of like blending just to kind of get that so that it wasn't so white. And then here's of the waterfall, and then I did my little journaling there. These were some of my favorite waterfalls that we saw when we were there. So again, and this was a scrapbook kit, but it was a Christmas one. And I just turned it into my Norway one. This was one of our fall kits, and this one also uses one of our bundles. So it was a kit, and then I printed out some bundles. And these are, my Norway one is gonna have the many faces of Ben as well, because he always has some fun faces going on. But we were getting some fresh air there, and that is, that was like a really fast moving creek. It was actually just a creek, not even a river, so that was kind of cool. And then I've got some, you know, my favorite thing that I like to do, I got some flicking down here, and then I've got some blending down there as well. And of course I had to add some embellishments. And then this is the coordinating page with that, and it goes like this. It goes like this. Actually, nope, it was the other way. It goes like that. So it's a double layout, but this is of course his face again. And this was one of the trolleys that we were doing. And so I was just grateful that I got to do that trip with him. It was for, and then of course I had to add, you know, it was unforgettable. It was days to remember. This right here is a pull tab. And this is where I put my journaling for this one. This was where we actually was our favorite place, was in Olden. And so I added about that as well. All right. And then this one was us playing bingo on the trip. And this was a paper pumpkin as well. And then I added in a couple of things from our, from one of our dies as well. See, I don't know, I'm hard with words today. This ribbon is retired though. That was retired ribbon that I added onto it, but I really wanted, you know, something to kind of coordinate. I can't say that this is my favorite page, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes, you know, you have those pages you like and some that you don't. Okay, this one is of a apple picking, which we are doing again this year at the end of September. We usually go toward the end of September with Harper. And this year, the year that we did this one, it was just Harper and her mom Hope and then myself. And so I put my little journaling there. I actually did this for a challenge in a Facebook group, and so it was fun to kind of take their layout and make it my own. I did change it up a good bit. They had like picture squares all the way down, but I didn't want little tiny pictures, and so I put these baskets of apples. This apple is part of our what is the name of it? More Than Autumn. These were from More Than Autumn, and then this is from a retired pack. And then of course our little mini alphabet dies, which I love. And then of course the nested essential dies. This is one of the other pages for that trip. She always likes to put her hand up when you're trying to take a picture, so I had to of course add that in here. This was actually from a scrapbooking kit, and I changed it up just a little bit, but a lot of the elements are kind of the same, and then I just kind of arranged it to be more for me than anything else. One of the other reasons we actually like to go to this particular place is they have a lot of different pumpkins, and of course you can tell this was kind of a, I wanted the colors from it, but it was kind of older pumpkins. When you go kind of toward the end of September, you don't always get the best pumpkins, just FYI, in South Carolina. So, anyway, but the sky is so blue, when you get up there. So this place that we go to is right outside of, or it's in Hendersonville, and it's at one of the top of the mountains. And then this was the last page for that. Of course, more pumpkins. And then, because it's very farm in the background, of course, I had to add the trees and the leaves and make it more fall. And then I'll add a little bit more journaling here as well. So these are all the pages that I have done. I think this is the last 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 4, maybe longer. But I have to start actually putting my pictures on all of them, the ones that don't have them, and then I'm gonna start putting them in the albums so that I can have that. I separate my albums according to more or less years. I don't necessarily do per trip or anything like that. The Norway one I may do as one, but I try to do it kind of by year, and I don't always scrapbook per year. For example, this is from September of 2023, and then this is from, I guess that was May of 2023. And then of course, some of these are from even longer. Let's see. This one is from 2025. This would have been from 2024. Maybe 2023, 2024. And then of course this trip was actually 2019. So I don't necessarily do them all straight. And then this one would have been from many, many years ago, because Harper is much older now. So it all just depends on when we get products out that just kind of remind me of those pictures. And then I have all those pictures saved on my phone, as well as in an outside drive that I have for my computer. So I kind of group those by years as well and go through it that way. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me. And just to let you know, the live class this week will be on Tuesday at 7 o'clock because I have a meeting at church on Monday. So make sure you join me on Tuesday over on YouTube, and I'll see you then. Bye.